Hello there everybody, how's it going and how have you been? I am EuclideanSqd, and we're back here in Duel Links to check out the newest main box to be released, Valhalla Calling. Now, just a full disclosure sort of thing, I did just finish recording the Dark Signer Carly video about half an hour ago. I spent a little bit of time farming up to about 2,000 gems just so we could open up 40 packs as opposed to just like 30 and some change. But the main point that I'm getting at is that I am kind of tired, so if I do happen to mispronounce some card names or misunderstand some effects, I apologize in advance, but I'm already set up for recording, so I figure I might as well just keep going since I'm here. So with that, let's go ahead and open up some packs. First 10 packs of this new box, let's see what we get. I know that there is a new Synchro monster related to Carly's Fortune Ladies. I would like to get that just because I am interested in making a Fortune Lady deck, so maybe we'll get it. It's not a Fortune Lady, but it might be something. Did I get an ultra rare first pack? Because I just noticed there's a fusion monster in the ultra rares, and that's a fusion card. Alright, well, we will get to that. First things first, our first card is Nordic Relic Leviathanen. This is specifically why I wanted to make that apology about mispronouncing names, is that some of the cards in this pack are related to Norse mythology, and I don't know how to pronounce some of those words, so I'm probably going to make a fool of myself. But anyway, Nordic Relic Leviathanen, regular trap card. Target one face-up monster on the field that destroyed a monster by battle this turn. Destroy it. Cards and effects cannot be activated in response to this card's activation. That's a very nice trap card. You just let your opponent attack and destroy something, you use this, immediately destroy their monster. I really like this trap card. I feel like this was probably introduced to help out against 6 Samurai decks because of that stupid She-En Synchro monster, where it can just negate the first spell trap card your opponent uses each turn. So basically you just let She-En attack something and then use Leviathanen and just destroy it instead. And it can't counter it. Oh, I like this trap card. Alright, moving on. We have Flower Cardian Zebra Grass. I have never heard of Flower Cardians before, and this is a very bizarre card. It's a level 8 Dark Warrior with only 100 attack and defense. While you control a level 7 or lower Flower Cardian monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Alright. Also, you cannot normal or special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except Flower Cardian monsters. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can reveal any number of Flower Cardian monsters in your hand, shuffle them into the deck, then draw the same number of cards. Interesting. I wonder if there's some spell traps to go along with these things, because at least you can special summon it easily. You don't have to tribute 2 things for a 100 attack point monster, but and unless you do something with it, that's going to be a 100 attack or 100 defense monster that was basically just a hand reset. And we did, in fact, get an ultra rare in the very first pack. I was not expecting that at all. We got Masked Hero Diane. Level 8 Earth Warrior Fusion, 2800 attack, 3000 defense. Unlike other fusion monsters, it's not actually a fusion. It's kind of like the XYZ monsters or the Neos cards, and that it's treated as a fusion even though it doesn't actually behave like a fusion. Must be special summoned with Mask Change and cannot be special summoned by other ways. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower hero monster from your deck. Now, Mask Change specifically, I don't think it's actually been reprinted for this box. It's a... Actually, it might be. It might be an ultra rare, I can't remember. But it's a quick play spell card where you tribute 1 hero monster, and then you can special summon a masked hero of the same attribute from your extra deck. And I hate that card because of how broken it is with Masked Hero Anki. But Diane's pretty interesting. Very interesting. Also, I'm not going to complain about an ultra rare on the first turn, on the first pack. Moving on, we got a new UA monster. Fabulous. A level 6 Earth Warrior, UA Goalkeeper, 1000 attack, 2800 defense. You can special summon this card from your hand by returning 1 UA monster you control to your hand, except for UA Goalkeeper. You can only special summon UA Goalkeeper once per turn this way. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, you can target one UA monster you control. Once during this turn, it cannot be destroyed in battle or by card effects, and this is a quick effect. So it basically protects other UA monsters. And they all have that whole... You can special summon them by returning a different one to your hand, but you can only special summon one of each per turn. They're a pretty good archetype. Very annoying to deal with. Moving on. Little Trooper. Level 1 Earth Warrior, 900 attack, 500 defense. If this card is destroyed by battle, you can special summon one level 2 or lower warrior type monster from your deck in face down defense position. I wonder if that's meant to combine with something else in this box. And then we have Recardination. Well, I asked if there was a Flower Guardian spell, and there is. Regular spell card. Target one Flower Guardian monster in your graveyard. Add it to your hand, then you can special summon one Flower Guardian monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. That's cool. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a Flower Guardian monster's effect, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can add one of the excavated spell trap cards to your hand, place the remaining cards on top of your deck in any order. Wow, both of those effects are really good. I seriously have never heard of these Flower Guardians, but they are already starting to pique my interest. We have a reprint. We have Guard Dog, level 3 Earth Beast, 1500 attack, 500 defense. As a flip effect, your opponent cannot special summon for the rest of this turn. Interesting. Interesting. Then we have Swordmaster, a level 3 Earth Warrior Tuner, 1200 attack, 0 defense. If a warrior type monster you control attacks your opponent's monster, and the opponent's monster is not destroyed by battle at the end of the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. During battle between this attacking card and a defense position monster whose defense is lower than the attack with this card, inflict the difference as battle damage to your opponent. Weird. I know there's that trap card Urgent Tuning, which does let you synchro summon during the battle phase, so you can probably combine it with this. Kind of low attack points for a good piercing monster, but level 3 tuners are always good. Then we have Goldfax, I think is how you would say it. Goldfax of the Nordic Beasts. Level 4 Light Beast Tuner, 1600 attack, 1000 defense. If your opponent controls a synchro monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Interesting, albeit your opponent has to control specifically a synchro monster and not just any old monster. Then we have March Towards Ragnarok, a quick play spell card. Target one Aesir monster you control. Until the end of this turn, its effects are negated. Also, that face-up monster is unaffected by the effects of other spell and trap cards. Okay, so pretty straightforward. I don't remember the Aesir monster's effects off the top of my head, so that might be a pretty steep cost depending on them. I know there's at least 3. I don't know if they're all in this. Actually, it looks like they all are in this box. Hopefully we'll get one. Flower Wolf, a level 5 Earth Beast Fusion, 1800 attack, 1400 defense. Fusion of Silverfang and Dark World Thorns. I don't think this is a particularly good card. So just moving on. Oh, good lord. Tangyolster, I think. I don't know Nordic. Tang of the Nordic Beasts. Level 3 Earth Beast, 800 attack, 1100 defense. When a monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. That's cool, just special summons for anything. Once per turn, when this defense position card on the field is changed to face-up attack position, you can special summon one Nordic Beast monster from your deck in defense position except for Tang. Alright. So if it's early on in the duel, or if your opponent only makes one attack, destroys your monster, you special summon this thing in defense mode, and then switch it to attack mode, special summon another Nordic Beast like that tuner. That's an instant level 7 tuning, or a level 7 synchro summon. That's pretty cool. Pardon me just a moment. Yep, just wanted to make sure it's recording. 5th pack, we have Tier of the Nordic Champions. Level 4 Light Warrior, 2000 attack and defense. Your opponent cannot target Nordic monsters for attacks except tier of the Nordic champions. If there is no other face-up Nordic monster on the field, destroy this card. Alright. And I think the Tang only summons beast types? I think it is. So you can't use it to summon tier. At least I think. I'm already forgetting effects. Watt Adjustment. An equip spell card. Equip only to a level 3 or lower Thunder type monster. It gains 800 attack, also its effects are negated, and each time it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you draw a card. Okay. I don't know the level 3 Thunders off the top of my head, but alright. Vanadis of the Nordic Ascendant. Level 4 Dark Fairy Tuner. 1200 attack, 400 defense. For a Synchro summon, you can substitute this card for any one Nordic tuner monster. That's cool. If this card is used as a Synchro material, all other Synchro materials must be Nordic monsters. Slightly less cool. Once per turn, you can send one Nordic monster from your deck to the graveyard. This card's level becomes the level of that monster until the end of this turn. Okay, actually this thing's not too bad. Depending on the other Nordic cards, because so far we've only seen a couple, and because it's late I'm forgetting what they are. But if you make just a Nordic monster deck, you can technically just Synchro summon for, you know, anything. Like it's not that the Vanadis can only be used to Synchro summon for like a Nordic monster, it's just that the other material has to be Nordic monsters. So as long as you're playing with just Nordic monsters, you can still use her as Synchro summon for, or as a tuner for any Synchro monster. You know, that will accept a Dark or a Fairy type or something like that. Okay, did we get another ultra rare? Flower Guardian Peony with Butterfly. A level 6 Dark Warrior Tuner, 1000 attack and defense. Very tiny text, so let's see here. Cannot be normal summoned set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by tributing one Flower Guardian monster except Peony with Butterfly. If this card is special summoned, draw a card. If you do show it, then if it is a Flower Guardian monster, look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, place them all on the top or bottom of their deck in any order. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. So I'm guessing if the card you excavated isn't a Flower Guardian monster, you send your card to the graveyard. When this card is used as Synchro material, you can treat it and all other Synchro materials that have a level as level 2 monsters. Okay, so you can just recalibrate everybody's level to 2, and then just tune for a level 4 or a level 6. That's interesting. We have Tvirg of the Nordic Alfar. I don't know how to pronounce these names. Level 1 Earth Warrior, 100 attack, 1000 defense. After you normal summon this card, you can normal summon one Nordic monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summon set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. Okay, so basically, when you normal summon this thing, you can then normal summon another Nordic. If this face-up card on the field is sent to the graveyard, target one Nordic relic card in your graveyard and add that target to your hand. Alright, pretty straightforward. And we did get an ultra rare. Alright, that's 2 ultra rares in the first 10 packs. I am super happy with this. Forbidden Lance, quick play spell. Target one face-up monster on the field. Until the end of this turn, that target loses 800 attack, but is unaffected by the effects of other spell and trap cards. That's pretty cool. If your opponent has like equip spells on something, you can use this to not only negate the equip spells, but also knock it down by 800 attack. I'm actually really glad I got this card because this thing's actually a pretty good counter to like Power of the Guardians, that equip spell. That's wow, Forbidden Lance is a really good card actually. Because even if the monster's not under any spell or trap effects, just dropping its attack power by 800 is amazing. Oh, for love. Gotterdammerung? Regular spell card. Target one Aesir monster you control. Give control of that monster to your opponent. During your opponent's next end phase, destroy that monster, and if you do, banish all cards your opponent controls. Okay, I think the Aesirs are only Synchro monsters, So you are effectively giving your opponent a very powerful Synchro monster for a turn, but if you have a way of keeping it from doing anything for that turn, it then blows itself up and basically nukes your opponent's entire field in the process. Okay. UA Playmaker, a reprint card, a level 8 Earth Warrior, 2600 attack, 2000 defense. You can special summon this card from your hand by returning a UA monster you control to your hand, except for Playmaker. You can only special summon a Playmaker once per turn this way. When another UA monster you control declares an attack, you can have this card lose exactly 800 attack, and if you do, your attacking monster gains 800 attack. Very straightforward. Watt Keeper. Regular trap card. Select one level 4 or lower Watt monster in your graveyard. Special summon that monster from the graveyard, but destroy it during the end phase. Alright. Kind of typical for a revival card. So we got another Gutter, another Watt Adjustment, and, no, for the love of... Glipnir, the Fetters of Fenrir. Regular trap card, add one Nordic monster from your deck to your hand. Alright, simple enough. Searches for any Nordic monster. Pretty good trap card, actually. We have 2 Synchros. Cool. So we got another Watt Adjustment. We got Flower Guardian Boardifly, I think. Level 6 Dark Warrior Synchro, 2000 attack and defense. Requires any tuner and any 2 non-tuner monsters. Actually, specifically 2 non-tuner monsters, but in this game that's the most you can have. So that's where the Flower Guardian Tuner's effect it would work. You use its effect to set it and other Flower Guardians to level 2 monsters. Anyway, if a Flower Guardian monster you control attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Very cool. Once per turn, you can banish one Flower Guardian monster from your graveyard. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, your opponent cannot activate effects of cards in the graveyard. Also, they cannot special summon monsters from the graveyard. Okay. Pretty hard counter to the Vendread cards that were introduced in the last box. But yeah, pretty cool synchro. Pretty cool synchro. And we got a super rare. HTS Sihamuth, I think. Level 6 Earth Psychic Synchro, 2400 attack, 1800 defense. Will accept any tuner and any non-tuners. After damage calculation, when this card battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that monster and also banish this card. I know there are some psychic support cards that you can use when your stuff gets banished. I cannot think of it off the top of my head. I know they exist, I just can't think of it. We have Reptilian Servant, a level 1 dark reptile with 100 attack and defense. Destroy this card if there are face-up monsters on the field other than this card. Alright. Destroy this card when it is targeted by the effect of a spell or trap card. Okay. Neither player can normal summon a monster while this card is face-up on the field. Okay, so the idea is you hopefully play this thing turn 1, like literally turn 1, and then your opponent can't... Well, your opponent would have to only set things, but you could probably find ways of dealing with them when they do that. I don't know, this thing's weird. I don't get it. Another Goldifax, another Flower Guardian Boardfly, and that was the first 10 packs. Very interesting stuff in the box. I'm still kind of surprised we got 2 ultra rares and a super rare in the first 10. Like, heck, we got an ultra rare in the very first pack. I've never had that happen before. Anyway, though, next 10 packs, let's see what else we get. We get Ray of Hope, a reprint card, regular trap, add 2 light monsters from your graveyard to your deck, and shuffle it. Straightforward. Mara of the Nordic Alfar. Level 2 Dark Spellcaster Tuner, 1000 attack, 500 defense. When using this card as synchro material, the other synchro materials must be 2 Nordic monsters in your hand. Well, that's pretty good. I mean, you could just, you know, normal summon this thing just to play it, and then immediately synchro summon with stuff in your hand. You don't have to worry about protecting your tuner while they come out on the field, or protecting them until you get the tuner. That's actually really powerful. And again, there's no restriction that says you have to use it for like a Nordic Synchro monster or an Aesir Synchro monster. You can just tune with it for anything. Speaking of the Aesir, Thor, Lord of the Aesir. A level 2, 4, 6, level 10 Earth Beast Warrior Synchro. 3,500 attack, 2,800 defense. Requires 1 Nordic Beast Tuner and 2 or more non-tuner monsters, so probably just 2. Once per turn, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls until the end of this turn. That's pretty powerful. During the end phase, if this face-up card you controlled was destroyed by your opponent's card by battle or card effect and sent to your graveyard this turn, you can banish a Nordic Beast Tuner from your graveyard to special summon this card. And if summoned this way, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. Thor is incredibly powerful. I mean, I know a teeny bit about Nordic mythology, and I know Thor is actually pretty powerful, but like just banishing a Nordic Beast Tuner to just revive a 3,500 attack point Synchro monster, and hitting your opponent for 800 damage in the process, that feels very powerful. Moving on, we have Armor Breaker, reprint card, level 3 Earth Warrior, 800 attack and defense. It's a Union monster. Once per turn, you can equip it to another Warrior type monster you control, or unequip it and special summon it back as in face-up attack position as a monster. While equipped to a monster by this card's effect, each time the equipped monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can destroy 1 card on the field, and only 1 monster can... you can't equip another Union monster to the same thing this thing's equipped to, and if the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle, you can destroy this thing instead. So basically, you give it to another warrior monster, and you can just start busting other cards every time it hurts your opponent with battle damage. Sorry. Flower Stacking. Regular spell card. Choose 3 Flower Cardian monsters with different names from your deck. Place them on top of your deck in any order. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 Flower Cardian monster in your graveyard, and add it to your hand. You can only use this effect of flower stacking once per turn. Interesting. I would assume that means that there are at least 3 Flower Cardians that have been introduced, so that you can actually use this spell card. Very interesting. And then we have Hecatrice. Level 4 Light Fairy, 1500 attack, 1100 defense. You can discard this card to the graveyard, add 1 Valhalla, Hall of the Fallen from your deck to your hand. I think that is this ultra rare spell up there, but we will see eventually. Charcoal Inpachi, level 1 Fire Pyro, normal monster, 100 attack, 2100 defense. Nice amount of defense. Divine Relic Mjolnir, regular trap card, target 1 Aesir monster you control. It can make a second attack during the battle phase this turn. Okay, well, considering Thor had 3,500 attack points, that's kind of terrifying to combine with. Also makes sense that it would work with Thor particularly well. Flower Cardian Pine. Level 1 Dark Warrior, 100 attack, 100 defense. If this card is normal summoned, draw a card, show it, then send it to the graveyard unless it is a Flower Cardian monster. You can only use this effect of Flower Cardian Pine once per turn. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can draw a card. That's actually pretty easy. You just, if you don't want to go through the whole revealing your own cards to your opponent thing, you can just set it and just let it destroy itself. Or let your opponent destroy it in battle, and then you just get a free draw. Pretty cool. Another Ray of Hope, Watt Squirrel, which is very adorable. Level 3 Light Thunder, 700 attack, 100 defense. This card can attack twice during each battle phase. If this card battles, negate the effects of the monster it battled with after damage calculation, including in the graveyard. So I think that's just a permanent effect negation. Very low attack points. I would say Watt Adjustment would help, but that just negates Watt Squirrel's effect and makes it a 1500 attack point monster, so... Watt Keeper. Although, you could just set Squirrel as a trap, Like, just set it, let your opponent attack into it with something, and then that monster's effect is just negated for the rest of the duel. That's pretty cool. Another UA Playmaker, another Ray of Hope, and Watt Hydra. Interesting looking thing. A level 7 Light Thunder Synchro, 1500 attack and defense. Requires 1 Watt Tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner Thunder type monsters. This card can attack your opponent directly. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, choose one card in your deck and remove it from play. Add that card to your hand during your second standby phase after activating this effect. Interesting. There's got to be a Watt Tuner in this box, because Squirrel wasn't a tuner. Actually, wait, isn't there something called Watt Fox that you can get somewhere else? I think. Anyway, interesting synchro. Very nice. They can just attack directly for 1500. Another Gother Watt Castle. Field spell card. Any monster that attacks a Watt monster loses 1000 attack points after damage calculation. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's after damage calculation, so your monster might get destroyed anyway, but giving it just a permanent 1000 attack point debuff is pretty nice. The Agent of Miracles Jupiter. Level 4 Light Fairy, 1800 attack, 1000 defense. Once per turn, you can remove from play one The Agent monster in your graveyard. Select one face-up Light Fairy type monster you control. The selected monster gains 800 attack until the end phase. While the Sanctuary in the Sky is face-up on the field, once per turn you can discard a Fairy type monster to select one of your removed from play Light Fairy type monsters and special summon it. So I know there's also the Agent of Creation Venus. So you could banish your Venus and then give this thing another 800 attack. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know enough about them to really comment much more. Did we get another ultra rare? Maybe. Gurmur or Garmer of the Nordic Beasts. Level 4 Dark Beast, 800 attack, 1900 defense. If this card battles a level 4 or lower monster after damage calculation, you can return that monster to the hand. Cool. So you set it as a trap. Your opponent attacks into it. If it's level 4 or lower, you can just immediately bounce it back to the hand. Nice monster. Pardon me, just double checking the recording. Yep, another Dverg. Super Nimble Mega Hamster. That art is just fucking ridiculous. Level 4 Earth Beast, 1100 attack, 1800 defense. Flip effect. You can special summon one level 3 or lower beast type monster from your deck in face down defense position. Okay. Interesting. Was Gurmur a level 3 or was it a level 4? Like I said, I'm tired. Mara Nordic Relic Dropnir. Equip spell. Equip only to an Aesir or Nordic monster. It gains 800 attack. If this face-up card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, you can add one Nordic Relic card from your deck to your hand. Alright, simple enough. Another Flower Guardian Pine. Winged Egg of New Life. Level 5 Light Fairy. Normal monster with 1400 attack and 1700 defense. Garbage normal, don't use. Another March Towards Ragnarok, and another ultra rare. Okay. The Agent of Mystery Earth. Level 2 Light Fairy Tuner, 1000 attack, 800 defense. When this card is normal summoned, you can add one The Agent monster from your deck to your hand, except the Agent of Mystery Earth. While the Sanctuary in the Sky is face up on the field, you can add one Master Hyperion from your deck to your hand instead. I don't know what that is. Probably in this box somewhere, but I don't know what that is. Then we got another Watt Adjustment, Flower Stacking, and Fetters of Fenrir. Alright. Another Ultra Rare, another Super Rare. Can't complain. Can't complain. The third set of 10. Let's hope our luck continues. Another March Towards Ragnarok. Flower Guardian Pine with Crane. Right? Level 1 Dark Warrior, 2000 attack and defense. Cannot be normal summoned set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by tributing one level 1 Flower Guardian monster, except for Pine with Crane. So, like, just regular Pine. If this card is special summoned, draw one card. If you do, show it, then you can special summon it if it is a Flower Guardian monster. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. At the end of the battle phase, if this card battled, draw one card. Lots of draw power. Wow, lots of Flower Guardians. A lot more than I thought. Just considering the number of Nordic cards that were showing up, I'm kind of surprised there are this many Flower Guardians too. Flower Guardian Clover with Boar. A level 7 Dark Warrior, 1000 attack and defense. Cannot be normal summoned set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by tributing a Flower Guardian monster, except for Clover with Boar. If this card is special summoned, draw one card. And if you do, show it. Then if it is Flower Guardian, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. Alright. March Towards Ragnarok. Mimir of the Nordic Descent. Level 2 Dark Fairy, 600 attack, 0 defense. Once per turn, at the start of your standby phase, if you control a Nordic monster and this card is in your graveyard, you can send a spell card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon this card. Okay. So I suppose if you got left with the tuner, you could special summon this thing for a Synchro summon or something like that. And UA Mighty Slugger. A level 5 Earth Warrior reprint, 2300 attack, 700 defense. You can special summon this card from your hand by returning a UA monster you control to your hand, except for Mighty Slugger. You can only special summon a Mighty Slugger once per turn this way. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. I don't like this thing at all. Moving on. I mean, I like it because it is a good card. I don't like it because I hate battling against it. It is so annoying. Another Mimir. Jormungandr. Jormungandr? I thought it was Jormungandr. Maybe it's a translation thing. Jormungandr, the Nordic Serpent. A level 8 Dark Dragon. 3000 attack and defense. Cannot be normal summoned set. If an Aesir monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's side of the field in defense position. If an Aesir monster is not on the field, destroy this card. If this face-up defense position card you control is changed to face-up attack position, take 3000 damage. This effect can only be used once while this card is face-up on the field. Oof. I don't know if any of the Aesirs can change the battle positions of things, but that is a really mean effect. I mean, I presume the other Aesir monsters are just as difficult to summon as Thor, so you're probably not going to be using Jormungandr all that much, but still, that's a mean effect. And another Hecatrus. Flower Guardian Zebragrass. Yep, look at that one. Warrior Lady of the Wasteland. Level 4 Earth Warrior, 1100 attack, 1200 defense. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Earth Warrior type monster with 1500 or less attack position from your deck in face-up attack position. So you could replace Warrior Lady with another Warrior Lady, you could replace it with another Earth Warrior. Cool card. Oy oy oy. Flower Guardian Maple with Deer. 2, 4, 6, 8. Level 10 Dark Warrior, 1000 attack and defense. Cannot be normal summoned set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by tributing a Flower Guardian monster except for Maple with Deer. If this card is special summoned, you draw a card, and if you do show it, then if it is a Flower Guardian monster, you can destroy one spell trap card your opponent controls, otherwise you send it to the graveyard. Oy. These Flower Guardians are very weird. Very cool, but very, very weird. Flower Guardian Zebragrass with Moon. Level 8 Dark Warrior, 2000 attack and defense. Cannot be normal summoned set, big surprise. Must first be special summoned from your hand by tributing one level 8 Flower Guardian monster except for Zebragrass with Moon. If this card is special summoned, draw a card, and if you do show it, then you can special summon it if it is a Flower Guardian monster. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. Once per turn, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can draw one card. That is a lot of blank space at the bottom of this card. I wonder if that's just like a formatting error when they were making it. Mara of the Nordic Atmosphere, and another super rare. Kinka Bio, I think? Level 1 Dark Beast, 400 attack, 200 defense. It's a spirit monster. Cannot be special summoned. During the end phase of the turn, this card is normal summoned or flipped face up. Return it to the hand. So, typical spirit monster stuff. When this card is normal summoned or flipped face up, you can target one level 1 monster in your graveyard, special summon that target, but banish it when this card leaves the field. I'm sure that's meant to work with something, I'm not entirely sure what. Another Armor Breaker, Peony with Butterfly, Tongue. Fraud Freeze. A continuous trap card. Once per turn, when your opponent special summons a monster from the hand, excepting the damage step, you can return to the hand all monsters your opponent controls that were special summoned from their hand. If neither player controls a Flower Guardian Synchro monster, send this card to the graveyard. Well, that's a stronger counter to UAs at the very least. Though you... Hold on just a second. I might need to cut this. Okay, sorry about that. Throat suddenly just got really dry and I started having a coughing fit. Yeah, very hard counter to UA monsters, since they all like special summoning themselves from the hand. Though you do have to control a Flower Guardian Synchro for it to stay active. Depending on how easy that is, could be good. Watt Kiwi, adorable. Level 3 Light Thunder Tuner, 600 attack, 100 defense. Watt monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle while they are attacking. Interesting. And oh god, I thought calling the other one Tang would be good because I didn't think anybody else shared that name. But no, here we have Tangrisnir of the Nordic Beasts. Also probably mispronouncing this thing's name. Level 3 Earth Beast, 1200 attack, 800 defense. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon 2 Nordic Beast tokens. Beast type Earth, level 3, no attack and defense. Obviously meant to help you Synchro summon with. Moving on. We got another Fraud Freeze, another Reptilian Servant, and Watt Cube. A reprinted card. Equip spell, equip only to a Thunder type monster. It gains 100 attack for each Thunder type monster in your graveyard. You can send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard. To have one face-up Thunder type monster you control, gain 1000 attack points. Pretty cool. Definitely meant to be used with the Watt monsters, but I'm sure there's other Thunder monsters that can use it. Reptilian Servant, UA Playmaker, Agent of Miracles, Zebra Grass with Moon, Watt Squirrel, Guardian Pine, and alright. Really starting to hit the duplicates. Final 10 packs, let's hope we get something good. And I already got a whole bunch of good, but let's hope for some more good. Nordic Relic, Leviathan, Mimir. A super rare, Hyper Hammerhead. Level 4 Earth Dinosaur, 1500 attack, 1200 defense. At the end of the damage step, if an opponent's monster that battled this card is not destroyed, return that opponent's monster to the hand. Very good card. I believe that for any fusions or synchros that attack this thing, they're instead kicked back into the extra deck, which is also good. Yeah, just really nice card. Again, you could also, like, you don't have to attack with it. You could just set it and let your opponent's monster run into it. And that carries the risk of them attacking with something else and destroying Hyper Hammerhead before the thing you actually want to return attacks it, but good card all the same. Garbage Normal, Ray of Hope, UA Blockbacker, a level 7 Earth Warrior, 1600 attack, 2700 defense. Special summon from your hand by returning another UA from you control to your hand. You can only special summon one blockbuster per turn this way. Once per turn, when your opponent special summons a monster, you can change their battle positions, and if you do, negate their effects. that thing is going to be annoying. This thing is going to be very, very annoying. I can already tell. Thropnir, Swordmaster, Watt Hydra, Guard Dog, Ragnarok. Oh, here's another agent. Agent of Wisdom, Mercury. Another reprint. Kind of forgot this thing existed. Level 4 Light Fairy, 0 attack, 1700 defense. During your standby phase, if you controlled this face-up card and had no cards in your hand at the end of the opponent's last end phase, you can draw 1 card. So basically, if you start your turn with no cards, you get to draw 2 instead of just drawing 1. Interesting monster. Nordic Relic Gungnir. Regular trap card. Banish 1 Aesir or Nordic monster you control, then target 1 card on the field, destroy it. Also, during your second end phase after activation, return the monster you banished to activate this card to the field in face-up attack position. So, you do lose it for 2 turns, which can leave you open, but pretty strong trap card since you can just target anything your opponent controls and destroy it, and it doesn't have to be one of the big Aesir Synchros. It could be one of the Nordic goats if you wanted to. Otohime, reprint card, level 3 light spellcaster spirit, 0 attack, 100 defense. Cannot be special summoned. During the end phase of the turn that was normal summoned or flipped face up, return it to the hand. However, when this card is normal summoned or flipped face up, you can target 1 face up monster your opponent controls and change its battle position. And UA Rival Rebounder. Level 6 Earth Warrior, 2200 attack, 2300 defense. You can special summon this card from your hand by returning another UA monster you control to your hand. You can only special summon a Rival Rebounder once per turn this way. If this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn or normal summoned, you can special summon 1 UA monster from your hand or graveyard except for Rival Rebounder. You can only use this effect of Rival Rebounder once per turn. Ragnarok, Nordic Relic Mengenjord. Regular trap card, target an Aesir or Nordic monster you control. Its attack and defense each become double its original attack and defense until the end of this turn, but it cannot attack your opponent directly this turn. That can be fine if your opponent happens to have something left in attack position, or if you have some way of changing their battle positions. Very powerful trap card. And we got another Grisnir. Watt Castle, Watt Kiwi, Little Trooper, Flower Wolf, Watt Mole. Level 3 Light Thunder, 0 attack, 100 defense. This card can attack twice during each battle phase. If this card attacks a face-down defense position monster, you can destroy that monster immediately with this card's effect without flipping it face up or applying damage calculation. Huh. I feel like that's meant to combine with some other card effect, but I have no idea what. Another garbage normal. Svartalf of the Nordic Alfar, level 5 Dark Spellcaster Tuner, 1400 attack, 1600 defense. When this card is normal summoned, you can target 1 Nordic monster in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. Yeah. Could be good, I guess. And another blockbacker. Do we get one more ultra rare? Flower stacking tier. Well, it's a super rare Star Eater. A 2/4 level 11 Light Dragon Synchro, I believe. 3200 attack, 2800 defense. Accepts any tuner and non-tuners. Must be synchro summoned and cannot be special summoned by any other way. This card's synchro summon cannot be negated. When synchro summoned, cards and effects cannot be activated. If this card attacks, it is unaffected by other card effects until the end of the damage step. I like this card. That is incredibly powerful, that your opponent can't do anything when you synchro summon it, and it's basically like an Ancient Gear thing. Well, your opponent can activate cards and effects, it's just that it ignores any cards and effects that would target it. So, like, your opponent could technically, like, power up their monster above Star Eater and then destroy it that way. But it shrugs off stuff like enemy controllers, wall of disruptions, drowning mirror force. It just ignores everything. Very cool. I'm very happy with that super rare to end off the packs with. Now, let's go ahead and go through the rest of the box and see what else I didn't get. So to start off, we have Odin, Father of the Aesir, a level 10 Light Fairy Synchro, 4,000 attack, 3,500 defense, jeez Louise. Requires 1 Nordic Ascendant Tuner, plus 2 or more non-tuner monsters. Once per turn, you can make this card be unaffected by spell trap effects until the end of this turn. Okay, just shrug off everything, that's powerful. During the end phase, if this face-up card you controlled was destroyed by your opponent's card, battle, or card effect, and sent to the graveyard this turn, you can banish 1 Nordic Ascendant Tuner monster from your graveyard, do special summon this card back, and when summoned this way, you can draw a card. Wow, these Aesir Synchros seem fairly difficult to Synchro summon, but they are powerful. Scrap Dragon, a level 8 Earth Dragon Synchro, 2,800 attack, 2,000 defense. Requires or accepts any tuner and any non-tuner monsters. Once per turn, you can target 1 card you control and 1 card your opponent controls and destroy them both. When this card is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, target a non-synchro scrap monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. Very cool monster. Oh, here's Master Hyperion. Level 8 Light Fairy, 2,700 attack, 2,100 defense. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing 1 the agent monster from your hand, field, or graveyard. Very easy to play. Once per turn, you can banish 1 Light Fairy type monster from your graveyard, then target a card on the field and destroy that target. While the Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, you can activate this effect up to twice per turn. Alright. Very powerful fairy. Valhalla, Hall of the Fallen. Continuous spell card. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 fairy type monster from your hand. You must control no monsters to activate and to resolve this effect. If you have ever played one of the Sartorius events, you understand how powerful this spell card is, since there is no level cap. So you could just special summon a level 8 or a level 9 or something like that. Incredibly powerful continuous spell. Banishment of the Dark Lords. Regular spell card. Add 1 Dark Lord card from your deck to your hand, except Banishment of the Dark Lords. You can only activate 1 Banishment of the Dark Lords per turn. I don't know if there are any in this deck, but the Dark Lords are a bunch of monsters, many of which have the ability to copy a Dark Lord spell or trap card effect that is currently in your graveyard. So, lots of searching potential there. And the final card is an ultra rare, or the final ultra rare. It's a regular spell card, Fortune Lady Calling. If you control a Fortune Lady monster, special summon 1 Fortune Lady monster from your deck with a different name from the cards you control. Also, for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except for Synchro monsters. You can only activate 1 Fortune Lady Calling per turn. So basically just special summon a different Fortune Lady than one you control. Kinda wish I got this card instead of the Agent Earth, but moving on. Just double checking. Yeah, Star Eater is a level 11 Synchro. Fortune Lady Every. Level 7 Light Spellcaster Synchro. Unknown attack and defense. Accepts any tuner and any non-tuners, or any non-tuner spellcaster monsters. This card's attack and defense become its level times 400. Once per turn during your standby phase, increase this card's level by 1 to a max of 12. So starts off at 2,800, increases by another 400 every one of your turns. Oh, then you can banish 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Alright, so not only does this thing go up by 400 attack and defense during your standby phase, you then get to just banish one of your opponent's face-up monsters. During your opponent's end phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 1 other spellcaster type monster from your graveyard, special summon this card. You can only use this effect of Fortune Lady every once per turn. So basically, every will not stay dead. You can just banish your other Fortune Ladies, you can banish other spellcasters, and just revive it. Right back at 2,800 like nothing ever happened. Why didn't I get this card? I would have happily traded this and this for her. Moving on, Shining Angel. Level 4 Light Fairy, 1,400 attack, 800 defense. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 light monster with 1,500 or less attack from your deck in face-up attack position. Pretty straightforward. UA Perfect Ace. Level 5 Earth Warrior, 1500 attack, 2500 defense. You can special summon this card from your hand, yada yada yada. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can discard one card to negate that activation, and if you do destroy it, this counts as a quick effect. Great, the UAs are going to be even more obnoxious. Continuing on, Fortune Lady Past. A level 1 Dark Spellcaster Tuner, unknown attack and defense. This card's attack and defense become equal to its level times 200. Once per turn during your standby phase, you increase this card's level by 1 to a max of 12. You can target one Fortune Lady monster you control. Banish any number of other spellcaster type monsters from your hand, field, and or graveyard. And if you do, increase or reduce that monster's level by the number of monsters banished until the end of this turn. You can only use this effect of Fortune Lady Past once per turn. Okay, so I guess the main idea is that if you want to use mostly Fortune Ladies, obviously the level is going to be changing every single turn. So if one of your other Fortune Ladies is a few levels off of being able to tune with Past to create Fortune Lady Every, you can go ahead and use Past to kind of rewind their level a little bit at the expense of some other spellcasters. But interesting tuner. Reptilian Lamia, a level 2 Dark Reptile Tuner, no attack and defense. If this card is in your hand and all monsters you control are face-up reptile-type monsters, minimum of 1, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change its attack to 0, and if you do, special summon this card, then take damage equal to that monster's original attack. Oof. Alright. If this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can target up to 2 face-up monsters on the field, change their attack to 0, you can only use one Reptilian Lamia effect per turn, and only once that turn. So most of the Reptilian effects, like activating around monsters that have no attack, and many of them have effects that change monsters to have 0 attack, so interesting card at the very least. And then the final super rare is Elemental Hero Solid Soldier. Level 4 Earth Warrior, 1300 attack, 1100 defense. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 4 or lower hero monster from your hand. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard by a spell effect, you can target one hero monster in your graveyard except Solid Soldier and special summon it in defense position. You can only use this effect of Solid Soldier once per turn. So basically, if you use Solid Soldier as fusion material, you can then revive the other half of the fusion back to the field in defense position. Pretty cool. Moving on to the rares, we missed Loki, Lord of the Aesir. Level 10 Dark Spellcaster Synchro, 3300 attack, 3000 defense. Requires one Nordic Alfar tuner plus 2 or more non-tuner monsters. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell trap card during your battle phase, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. This is a quick effect. So, very powerful. And then during the end phase, if this face-up card you controlled was destroyed by your opponent's card, either battle or card effect sent to the graveyard, you can banish a Nordic Alfar tuner from your graveyard to special summon this card back to the field. When summoned this way, you can target a trap card in your graveyard and add that target to your hand. So much like the other two Aesirs, very powerful synchro, albeit very high level and very strict summoning requirements. Then we have Watch Dragonfly, level 2 Light Thunder, 900 attack, 100 defense. If this card is destroyed by your opponent's card, either battle or card effect, you can special summon one Watt monster from your deck. Oh, that's interesting. Just anyone you want. Then there is Valkyrie of Nordic Ascendant. Level 2 Light Fairy Tuner, 400 attack, 800 defense. When this card is normal summoned, if your opponent controls a monster and you control no other cards, you can banish 2 Nordic monsters from your hand, special summon 2 Einherjar tokens, warrior type, earth, level 4, 1000 attack and defense, in defense position. So basically, banish 2 Nordic monsters from your hand, special summon 2 tokens, they're level 4, immediately tune to create Odin. Fantastic. The Agent of Entropy, Uranus, Level 5 Dark Fairy Tuner, 2200 attack, 1200 defense. If the Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, you can send one of the agent monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, this card's level becomes the level of the monster sent to the graveyard by this effect. Okay, makes sense. UA Turnover Tactics. Quick play spell card. If you control 2 or more UA monsters with different names, shuffle as many monsters on the field as possible into the deck, then special summon UA monsters from your deck that have different names from each other up to the number of cards shuffled into your main deck, but those monsters cannot attack this turn. Very good, since that seems to also shuffle away your opponent's monsters. Then your opponent can special summon monsters from their deck up to the number of cards shuffled into their main deck. You can only activate 1 UA Turnover Tactics per turn. And interesting to note, there is also no level limit. So it is actually pretty risky for your opponent to play this thing, because depending on what your you can just then immediately replace your monsters with the most powerful stuff in your deck. In fact, you could even special summon the same stuff back to your field because you don't have the different names requirement that the user of this card does. So, okay, not as bad as I thought. The Agent of Force, Mars. Level 3 Light Fairy, no attack and defense. This card is unaffected by any spell cards. While you control a face-up Sanctuary in the Sky and your life points are higher than your opponent's, this card gains attack and defense by the difference between your and your opponent's life points. So, kind of like a Neo Parshoth the Sky Paladin, but starts off at 0 instead of like 2300, I believe. The Liosolf of the Nordic Alfar. Level 4 Light Spellcaster, 1400 attack, 1200 defense. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one face-up monster you control, except this card. Special summon a Nordic monster from your hand with a level less than or equal to that face-up monster's level. Alright. A Skull Stalker, level 3 Dark Warrior, 900 attack, 800 defense. Normal monster, maybe good? Continuing on with the normal rares, which I actually started back with Mars and didn't realize. Solemn Authority. Continuous trap card. Activate this card by targeting one Aesir monster you control. It cannot be targeted by other card effects while this card is on the field. Send this card to the graveyard during your second standby phase after activation. Alright. Nordic Relic Brisingamen. Regular trap card. Target one face-up monster you control and one face-up monster your opponent controls. The attack of the first target becomes equal to the original attack of the second target until the end of this turn. And it seems like, unlike other Nordic relics, this thing can work on any monster, so not just Nordics. Very cool. And then the final card, Odin's Eye. Continuous trap card. Once per turn during each player's standby phase, you can target one Aesir monster you control, negate its effects until the end of this turn, and if you do, look at all cards in your opponent's hand and all set cards they control. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. If the Aesir monsters weren't so difficult to summon, I would say that this card is actually kind of broken. Probably is, because I'm sure somebody out there has already worked out how to make a deck that can synchro summon for an Aesir stupidly fast, but yeah, lots of interesting stuff in this box. Mostly interested in the Flower Guardians and the Watts, although lots of Nordics that are admittedly pretty cool. Man, I really wanted Fortune Lady Every, just since just got Carly, lots of Fortune Lady cards, kind of want to make a deck with them. Really kind of upset I didn't get one of these, but anyway. Aside from that, I did get a whole ton, like, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 super rares and, 3 ultra rares out of 40 packs. I can't complain about that, so. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all had a great time, and I hope you all had a great day. And I will see you all in the next one.